Welcome to Cognotik. This is not just another AI coding tool. Cognotik is built by developers, for developers. It is completely open source with zero lock-in and zero extraction of your data.
Hello, and welcome to this introduction to Cognotik, the AI agent plugin for JetBrains IDEs.
Installing Cognotik is straightforward. Simply go to Settings, then Plugins, search for Cognotik in the marketplace, install the latest version, and restart your IDE.
To install Cognotik, simply go to Settings, Plugins, and search the marketplace for Cognotik, C-O-G-N-O-T-I-K. Install the most recent version, and restart your IDE.
Once installed, you need to configure your API providers. Cognotik supports OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, and many other providers. Simply add your API keys in the Settings menu.
Once installed, you will need to go to the Settings menu and set up some keys for your API providers, whether you use OpenAI or Anthropic or Gemini or many other API providers we support. Set up your API providers and then press OK.
Cognotik uses two models, a smart model for complex tasks that is slower and more expensive, and a fast model for quick operations. You can configure these via the widget at the bottom of your IDE.
And then go to the model selection widget on the bottom. From there, you can select two different models. The model that you want to use as your smart model, which is obviously used for smart things, but the compromise is that it's slower and more expensive. And then choose your fast model. We are going to choose Haiku for that one.
The simplest features work within a single editor. Select any code, right-click, choose Edit Code, and give a simple directive like adding doc comments. Cognotik will perform an in-place edit of that region.
Cognotik provides a variety of functionality, but the simplest ones are often within a single editor. You can select a data class, for example, maybe this one, and you can get various options to edit this. For example, if you say edit code, you can enter a simple directive, add doc comments to all lines, and it will do an in-place edit of that region.
Code Chat loads your selected code as context and opens in a web browser. This is because Cognotik is built as a web server and web application. The plugin you see is just an easy way to invoke it. You can ask questions and get explanations about your code.
If we select this and go to Code Chat, many operations in Cognotik actually launch an external web browser. Cognotik is based on a web server and a web application. The plugin that you're seeing here is more an easy way to invoke it. This is Code Chat. So the Code Chat is loaded in with the context of the code that we have listed. And then we can say something like, explain this. And as you would expect, it is pretty standard interactive code chat that references some code. This is a good way of getting just a general explanation or an answer to a specific question that it can be expressed in a little bit of code that you highlight.
From the File Context menu, you can generate related files. For example, right-click a code file and ask it to create a README. Cognotik will analyze your file and generate appropriate matching documentation.
There are many options available from the File Context menus. If I right-click our code file, I can go to Code Chat with it, the entire file, of course. But in this case, I'm going to say generate related file. Create a README. That sounds good. And it will take in that file and your description and create the appropriate matching file. And here's our file that explains the demo that I had previously generated.
The most frequently used action is modify files. Select one or more files, then chat with the AI to request modifications. You can apply the diffs and even retry with the same directive for iterative improvements.
Next, I'd like to demo the action that is probably invoked the most often, and that is the modify files action. You can select one or more files, and then go to modify files. Then you can chat with the AI and request modifications. In this case, we're going to say improve the writing and formatting. I'm going to make a somewhat vague request because I'm going to demonstrate the retry function. First of all, we get a modification, and let's watch it take place. When we apply the diff, the file is updated, and then we can request another set of improvements with the same directive. It can try to make additional improvements. And depending on your use case, I have found this to be quite valuable over many different cycles. And you will generally find that it converges towards making some sort of trivial or increasingly useless suggestions. It is important to monitor it, but the fact that you can just iteratively retry, this is interesting. The AI doesn't really know how to improve it, so it's suggesting patches that effectively do nothing. But with less trivial content, you'll find that the iteration ability is pretty handy.
You can iteratively retry modifications with the same directive. This is valuable for many use cases. The AI will converge towards increasingly trivial suggestions, so it's important to monitor the process. The basic chat functionality is accessible from the main menu under Tools. This chat features a powerful expansion syntax that enables a variety of advanced use cases.
Finally, I'd like to show you the basic chat functionality that you can access in the main menu under Tools. This chat features an expansion syntax which enables a variety of powerful use cases.
The parallel expansion lets you request multiple variations at once. For example, ask for 3 jokes about different topics. These execute in parallel but all join the same chat, so you can ask follow-up questions about all of them.
For example, let's ask the AI to tell us a joke, but not just one joke. We want 3 separate jokes about 3 separate topics. And here we go. Now, the interesting thing here is these executed in parallel, but they all joined the chat. So now I can ask the AI, which was your favorite? So it read all of them and apparently thinks that the dog is the best.
The sequential expansion is great for large outputs. First, ask for a high-level plan, like a story outline. Then use range expansion syntax to write each chapter. Each response feeds into the next, allowing much larger outputs than normally possible.
Now, that was an example of parallel expansion, but we can also do sequential expansion. I'm going to open a new chat. And a particular trick I like doing with this for sequential expansion is prompting the AI to produce larger outputs than it normally would. So I'm going to say, tell me a story and outline it by chapter. This will ask the AI to give a high-level plan for the overall story. And now I can ask it a sequential expansion question like this. I used a range expansion syntax, and I say, write chapter, and I'm going to say 1 through what? 7? Yes. 7. Step is optional. And here it will generate each chapter one at a time, and it will feed each response into the next chapter. This allows it to write a much, much larger output than it normally would be able to. Once it finishes the expansion, we can see the entire output in the HTML file. We can refresh this as necessary. It'll rewrite. And there, by using a very simple expansion syntax, you can enable very large output.
Here's a complete workflow. First, use chat to generate project ideas. Select one, like a pixel art city builder. Then launch the agent with your requirements. The agent will formulate a plan and execute all the tasks to build your project.
Hello. In this video, I'd like to show you a simple workflow using Cognotik in IntelliJ. First, we're going to need an idea to implement. So let's go to the basic chat mode and say, give me 10 ideas for a browser game. Let's see, pixel art city builder. That sounds fun. So let's select that idea.
For larger projects, use the agent workflow. Right-click a directory, go to Cognotik Agents, and select Task Planning. Waterfall mode creates a plan first, then executes it. You can configure auto-apply fixes and task types.
So to start implementing our project, we right-click our directory, go to Cognotik, Agents, Task Planning. We're going to select the waterfall cognitive mode, which comes up with the plan as its first step and then spends the rest of the time executing that plan. We also want to auto-apply fixes to accept the changes automatically. And we are going to enable one type of task, that is code modification. We're going to keep the default AI model, and we're going to press OK. In the agent window, we paste our request, and I'm also going to add in some instructions for the architecture. Use npm and type script. It will consider this request and formulate a plan.
You can monitor the agent's progress in real time. The session menu shows detailed information about each task, including which files were created or modified. This gives you full visibility into what the agent is doing.
And then it will go about executing the plan, updating as it goes. it just completed. If you want to view any of the details of any of these tasks, you can see it in the session menu. And selecting any of these shows you the file the task was responsible for creating and all the related details.
Let's recap the key features. In editor edits for quick modifications, code chat for explanations, file generation, iterative refinement, powerful expansion syntax, and automated agent workflows for larger projects.
There are many more features to this library, but that concludes this demo video. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for watching this demo. Cognotik is ready to amplify your development workflow. It's open source with zero lock-in, built by developers for developers. Start using it today and experience AI-assisted coding done right. The